Is it you, Stalper? Yes, Peter Stalper did a great job as the chairman of the committee. Thank you, Peter. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Governor, and I will be brief. It is my pleasure to be here, and thank you, Phil, for hosting us. Senate Bill 315 really does do the right thing with respect to setting Ohio forward and ahead of other states in creating an independent energy policy. I went to the Governor's Energy Summit last year, and it was a long time coming, and we were waiting on the bill, and it does the right thing. It is broad-ranging in its impact. It hits energy efficiency, it hits cogeneration, and it deals with how we are going to deal with injection wells and the development of the shale gas play out on the eastern side of the state. I'm very pleased with the work that my committee did in about 8 long days with this bill, which came over from the Senate, and very happy with bipartisan support it showed and gained coming out of the House. So thank you both for supporting it. It does set Ohio forward, and we worked together. We worked hard with all stakeholders. Governor, your administration was fantastic to work with, along with Chairman Snitchler's group at the Public Utilities Commission and Director Zeringer's group at the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. It was a good collaborative effort, and I think we hit the right key, and I'm looking forward to improving further Ohio's energy policy as we move forward. Thanks for having us.
Todd's the head of the Public Utilities Commission. This is a big, big job. He's in charge of what the utility rates are. He's in charge of modernizing the entire energy operation here in the state. We're lucky to have him.
Thank you, Governor, and I'd also like to thank Phil for having us here today. I'll be brief as well. I think Senate Bill 315 does a wonderful job of moving Ohio's energy policy forward in a meaningful direction, and is setting a course for how we can be a leader nationally as how we deal with certain issues. At the Commission, we're not involved with many parts of this bill, but we are involved with ensuring public safety with regard to pipelines, and a terrific outcome was achieved in this bill with regard to gathering systems and pipeline safety. In addition, the Governor's talked at length about the cogeneration and waste energy recovery portion, and that too will go a long ways towards improving distributed generation and the electricity grid here in the state of Ohio. And we're excited about what that may mean for companies like EcoGen as they work in that space. And finally, we've also worked through the Power Siting Board to expedite our process to ensure that fixes to the transmission grid can be done quickly in an effort to ensure reliability, because not only opportunities like this exist, but as you're aware with the announced coal retirements, there are issues involving reliability, and this bill also addresses some of the concerns that were raised there in an effort to ensure that Ohioans can get safe, reliable, and affordable power at all times. So with that, Governor, I'll wrap up.
How about Jim? Now, Jim is he's in charge of all this regulatory stuff. It's a very big job. Jim came on to the Department of Natural Resources, leaving agriculture because of the real demands that we had here in terms of getting energy the right way. So Jim was making the calls to me on New Year's Eve about the tremors in Youngstown, just to give you a sense of how it works. And he stepped up and working with Wayne and Senator Niehaus, by the way. Without Senator Niehaus, we wouldn't have had a bill like this. He did a phenomenal job in terms of addressing the many policy questions that we have. Jim?
Thank you very much, Governor. I want to thank you for your leadership and having a lot of faith in the Ohio Department of Natural Resources for developing smart and safe and well-focused legislation that is going to be very instrumental in how the oil and gas industry moves forward. I know you pointed out Wayne Struble, who played an enormous part of this bill. Rick Simmers is here also, and Rick's his attention to detail and his knowledge of the industry was very, very instrumental in crafting these. Governor, you also instructed us to share with other states, contact other states, and learn from them. What were the lessons learned from other states that have already experienced this oil and gas industry? We talked to Pennsylvania, West Virginia, North Dakota, Arkansas, Texas, Colorado, and we learn from what mistakes that they have made or wish they would have done things different. And thanks to you and your connections and the governor of Colorado, we learned a lot, and that some of these things are instituted in Senate Bill 315. The governor mentioned many of the items that we're going to cover in 315. I want to just go through the list real briefly, and some of these I will repeat, but it will establish the nation's first combined well construction and hydraulic fracturing chemical disclosure agreement. and requirement. It also will require sharing all chemicals to doctors. It will require well operators to take pre-drilling well water samples within 1,500 feet, like the governor says, and those results have to be on the permit application. We also require increasing the liability insurance. We also maintain the appeals to the Ohio Oil and Gas Commission for mandatory pooling, well operators that want to, and also for establishing the exception track permit issuance. These are very, very important. And also we encourage well operators to enter into a RUMA, that's a road use maintenance agreement with local governments. This is also a very important piece of 315. And it also allows ODNR to better track and more closely monitor the activity of brine haulers and require injection well owners to electronically transmit quarterly reports to ODNR for about each shipment that they are putting in the well. Governor, we're going to have the inspectors in place, and I think Ohio is ready for the shale industry. Thank you.